Part 9. The 9th installment of this series that we're calling 5 upgrades to 5 eternally hyped fragrances. And is this getting old, guys? Should I leave it behind? Let me know in the comments. For real, I'm serious. Are you done with this series? Is this ridiculous? The 9th episode? How much more of this can we do? I don't know. It's up to you guys. Let me know down in the comments. Yes, Justin, keep giving us these alternatives as you've been doing. It's amazing. We love what you're bringing. Or,
dude, it's washed out. Let it go.
But regardless, we're here doing the 9th episode because my camera is on. It's recording. And I have the fragrances here. We're gonna just do it because we're here. So if you don't know what this series is, it's not exactly what it seems. Bottom line, before there's any tightness from some of you guys down in the gluteus region. The 5 fragrances I'm presenting as eternally hyped are not ones that I'm saying are bad. They're just talked about a lot. They're very well known for very good reasons. And I'm using them as tethering points to get your attention. They lure you in.
Ooh, what is that? I know that fragrance. I like that fragrance.
And then I direct your attention from that fragrance to another one that might serve a similar purpose, that might even have some overlap in smell, but it's not exactly the same. And it's a fragrance you may not have drawn your attention to naturally, so I'm using what you know to direct you to what you may not know. It's really as simple as that. Everything will be linked in the description as usual, and let's dive right into it. Our first fragrance here that is no stranger. This one is pretty dang hyped. At this point in my journey, I can say, does it smell good? Yeah, I smell this in the air. I'm like, oh, that smells good. Definitely doesn't smell bad, but does it remind me of other things I've smelled? From every direction 100 times over? Yes. This is from Azzaro. You can't see with this dark background. I'll put it in front of my face. This is the Most Wanted, the original Most Wanted. It's a sweet, alluring, warm, fresh-ish fragrance. There's not a whole lot to write home about this one. Smells good in the air, smells good to the average nose. Honestly, a little bit forgettable, like many fragrances like this, because they all kind of smell similar to each other. They're all keeping up with the trends, and that's what happens when a fragrance keeps up with the trends. It smells like other fragrances keeping up with the trends. You understand how this works. You probably have smelled this. Some of you guys probably absolutely love it. Some of you are maybe lukewarm about it. Some of you may not like it. What matters is it's talked about a lot. I want to present to you an alternative that you might enjoy if you enjoy this, or if you've overlooked it completely, you might want to look into this one. You may have just noticed the shift in camera. The gap over here was bugging me. We got unification roughly on both sides. Darkness with glass and shapes and colors behind us. Looks great, doesn't it? Anyway, the fragrance I would also deem to be sweet and alluring, but in a more elegant and more high quality way, is from Plume Impressions. They call this Que Tal. You may have never heard of it, you may have never tried it, but it's lovely. Honestly, the best way I can describe it, if you know Initio Side Effect, which has been in previous episodes of this series, it is in that vein. That's a good reference point. That's a good starting place. It actually doesn't smell like Most Wanted. Not really. It does have similar elements and just feeling in terms of the sweetness, in terms of the alluring quality, but again, not the same scent. It's this delectable smelling, woody, fruity, resinous, ambery fragrance. There is apricot in here, so it's kind of juicy, sweet. There's some spices like black pepper. There's a nice warm, ambery vanilla type of feel in there that's very musky and smooth and borderline creamy. It honestly is not all that unique of a scent, but the way it comes together, the way it's constructed, you get a whiff of this, it's just oozes quality. It's a little bit more expensive than Most Wanted for sure, yes, but I do think you get what you pay for. You really truly do, and you know it when you smell it. It's very seductive, it's very attractive, and once again it just smells of quality. So a fragrance you may not know about. Link down below to check out Que Tal from Plume Impressions. Let me know if you've tried it down in the comments. The next fragrance here is from Guerlain, and it's L'Homme Idéal Eau de Parfum. This is easily the most hyped in this collection by far. Even if you just go to Fragrantica, you look at the number of votes, it's like 8,000 plus votes, far exceeding any of the others in the collection. And I understand why. It is the most definitive version of this DNA. It just takes the eau de toilette and makes it more of itself. It kind of doubles down on it. It is that rich, sweet, almost syrupy cherry with this creamy, bitter almond, a little bit of woods and leather in there. It's a little powdery. It smells like a gentleman, not the most super masculine fragrance. It's just a different type of masculinity, I would say. It's a very self-assured, handsome type of fragrance. And again, it's talked about a lot. I happen to really enjoy this one, so I'm not replacing it, so to speak. I'm just using it as something you know and directing you to something you may not know. This is from Electimuss. This is called Spiced Arno. Doesn't smell like the Guerlain at all, but it does have a similar similar feel in terms of its type of sweetness, in terms of its handsome quality. It is alluring, it's smooth, it's creamy. It is definitely based on vanilla, a lot of vanilla, sweet and smooth. There's this bran accord that's such an odd component here. It brings this almost bready like feel to the vanilla. There's some florals in there. There's something that almost smells a little coconutty, like elegant sunscreen, but not super sunscreeny, thankfully, because I'm not a fan of that vibe. So that is not what this is. It just has this slight tropical vanilla feel, if you will. Beautiful sillage, great presence on the skin. I get great longevity out of it. And good Lord, this bottle is a dumbbell. If you know these fragrances, if you've picked one up, you know what I mean. It's actually kind of ridiculous. I don't think a bottle needs to be this heavy, but sheesh, it's still impressive. Anyway, just gotta say, that spiced Arno from Electimuss. Let me know if you've tried it. We have a beloved fragrance and also kind of a divisive one. Not everyone loves this one. I didn't like it when I first tried it years ago, and that pendulum has swung over to basically a love. I really appreciate this fragrance for what it is, especially for when it came out, because it does not smell like it came out in the 1990s, which it did. It smells utterly timeless. And that's Silver Mountain Water, a uniquely fresh fragrance. Nothing really smelled like this before Silver Mountain Water, and there's been a lot that smells similar to it since it came out, once again in the 1990s. It's an odd one, but good Lord, is it beautiful. It is this fresh alpine, almost icy, cooling wind type of feel with a little bit of juiciness from black currant, maybe some bergamot in there, kind of citrusy, and there's some tea that's almost calming and soothing and a little bit herbal, and there's this interesting inky feel that might rub some people the wrong way. I don't know how else to describe it. Kind of metallic, smells like no other fragrance. Nothing really comes close to the Creed in terms of its distinctive character. There's others that are kind of offshoots, they come close, but they're just not this Creed character. So speak ill about it if you will. The performance is not great. No, it has suffered over the years, but man, if you're not too concerned about the money you spend for the performance you get, it's okay to be concerned about that. But if you're not, then this is just utter quality. You do get what you pay for in terms of the feel of the scent. But once again, we know this fragrance. It's been around for decades. So what else can we talk about? This fragrance has been around for probably about a decade, maybe a little bit longer. So it's not a new fragrance, but definitely nowhere near as known and discussed as Silver Mountain Water, and kind of brings a similar natural feel. This is from Dasein. This is Winter. Winter is lovely. Transports you to a forest, coniferous forest. I get like pine and fir. There's like a piney freshness, cooling, crisp, sharp quality to the air. A little bit of a sappy, balsamic feel, maybe from the trees themselves. I get some spicy, cooling cardamom in there, some tea perhaps, both calming and just something that wakes you up all at the same time. It's a little bit invigorating without being in your face. It's a fresh fragrance that you can wear anytime, anywhere, like literally all year round, not just the winter, all year round, any occasion. This is signature scent worthy stuff. If you like this type of profile, it's just different enough to not smell like anything else, but it's not so off the wall that it's inaccessible and unwearable. It's a hard balance to strike. This does it super well. That is Winter from Dasein. Let me know if you've tried it. We have another beloved fragrance, and this happens to be one of my absolute favorite designer fragrances, period. Easily top 10 designers of all time for me, for this guy, and that's Terre D'Hermes, the original Terre D'Hermes from 2006. It's a hard one to offer an alternative to. I actually spent a lot of time thinking about this one because it offers this really unique, special blend of characteristics, not really just with the scent, but I'm talking about it is this masculine, fresh, woody fragrance that is very versatile. It's authoritative. It's for a confident guy. It exudes confidence. It's also completely timeless. It smells like it could have come out 10 years from now and it would still be modern and they'll still be making flankers of it. It is just this, again, hard balance to really strike for being distinctive, for being special, for being popular and wearable and timeless. It's not a trendy scent. So Hermes knocked it out of the park with this one. That goes without saying. This fresh, woody vetiver, a little bit citrusy, spicy. Some people say kind of dirty and earthy. I don't find this to be dirty. Yes, it's a little earthy, but there's a cleanliness here. There's a dapper feel. There's this unapologetic, confident, masculine feel that is relatively understated. It's not super strong because you don't have to scream in order to be strong. That's just not necessary. This does not scream. It does have presence though. But once again, nothing new here. I will continue to talk about it. I love this stuff. I'll keep wearing it, but I want to use it as a pivot point to draw your attention to another fragrance. And this is a fragrance that is once again not new. It's not even really all that unknown, but definitely still surprisingly undiscussed. I don't know what it is. I don't know why more people do not talk about this fragrance, and especially since it came out before Terre D'Hermes from Orman Jayne. Orman Man. I've talked about this a lot over the past couple years that I've had this in my collection. It's been one of my most worn fragrances from year to year, and it's just a super enjoyable fragrance that strikes the balance for me that Terre D'Hermes strikes. It does have this high wearability, this versatility, this uniqueness to it while still being accessible, this masculinity that is understated, that does not scream. It's all here in this fresh woody profile that really smells like nothing else out there that came before it or even around this time necessarily. It is based on cardamom. It's based on woods. There's hemlock, which I could not tell you what that smells like, but I do get this soft kind of green woody profile. There's almost something nutty about it that's hard to describe. It's both round and smooth, but also dry, woody. Juniper berry makes it fresh as well. It's so versatile. You can wear it anytime, anywhere, all year round. Does not smell like it's over 20 years old. And it's just a special fragrance that is once again not completely unknown, but needs more attention. If you feel like it's not something that deserves more attention, I want to know why. Let me know down in the comments. But if you have yet to try it, do check it out at the links below. Final fragrance. This is Tobacco Oud from Tom Ford. I love this stuff. I have nothing bad to say about it. This is an edgy fragrance, but there's an undeniable elegance here. Yes, it's tobacco. I think there's whiskey, there's spices, there's definitely some oud. It's dry, dark, woody, a little bit sweet and boozy, spicy, warm, unapologetic. If you overspray it, everyone's gonna hate you. It's just one of those fragrances. It smells like tuxedo vibes. It smells evening. It smells put together, refined, sophisticated. You're just that guy. But I want to offer you an alternative that you might like just as much. This is from the indie house Fzotic, all perfumed by Bruno Fazzolari, and he calls this Ummagumma. And this is really the only fragrance in this video that kind of smells like Tobacco Oud. Not really, not like he was using it as a model, like he was painting it and looking at it and like, this is exactly what I want to do. Like, no, he wasn't going for Tobacco Oud. You can tell when you smell it, but for whatever reason, they just kind of sit close to each other. And this is based on resins, kind of dark, sticky, sweet, warm resins with tobacco. There's actually tobacco in here, kind of dry and earthy. There's this almost spicy cinnamon-like feel, not super forward, but you do get this warm, sweet spice in there, and it really transitions and changes on the skin. On my skin, it becomes drier, it becomes darker. It's still a little bit sticky to me, but not in this creamy way, not in this super smooth way. It overall does have a dry texture. It's honestly kind of sexy. It is, again, a little edgy, so elegant, kind of intoxicating, something to wear on a night out, maybe not quite as dressed up. I think you could get away with dressing this down a little bit more when you're just gonna hang out with friends or something, but you want something unique, attractive, a little bit edgy, just provocative. This is a great one to consider. I wanna know if you've tried Ummagumma already. I wanna know if you've tried, honestly, any of my alternatives. I'm sure some of you guys have. Let's talk about it down in the comments. And if you have yet to do so, I'm gonna link to everything I can find down in the description. I wanna thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.